Hello, everybody. Welcome to some chilled reading sprints with Which Way Are You? That Way, yeah, with Simon from Savidge Reads, who you have never seen before on my channel. Do you want to introduce yourself, Simon?
Hello, everyone. I'm Simon. I run the channel Savidge Reads, and me and Becca met not on either of our channels, but when we did.
Do you want to introduce yourself, Simon?
Hello, everyone.
There we go. There we go. I've got rid of that now.
I don't know what happened there. Anyway, but we met, didn't we, when we both were on the YouTube BookTube book thing?
Yeah, the YouTube BookTube book thing. We did. It's BookTube Originals, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, it is.
No, YouTube Originals. BookTube was the series. There we go.
Is it? It's the only one that's done in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's crazy. So lots of people are saying hello. I love the comments. I get really excited. But do you ever get like, in Eurovision when they announce all the different countries they're from?
Yeah.
Like these who I've got. I'm always like, where's everyone from? I get it very excited about it because I just still don't think that people can watch from all around the world. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, like it's crazy because there's people like I'm doing a Buffy watch along in my Patreon right now, and somebody got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to like be on time with us for watching it. So that was crazy. I think it might have been 5 in the morning.
I need to join in with that technically because I've never watched the whole of Buffy. I knew that was going to be the response.
Leave. I'll find somebody else to join me today.
Okay, bye. This was lovely.
Everyone's really enjoying it. All of the people who I've introduced who's like just started watching it are really enjoying it, which I'm kind of surprised about because it is rough to get into with like how bad or old the special effects and stuff are. But it's a good time. Everyone's having a good time. It's great.
Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I feel like I need a big series like that. I've always wanted to watch the whole of what was it? Charmed.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't watch the last season of Charmed.
I've always wanted to watch it from the beginning. Kuwait, you see, that amazes me. Montana, I could do this where I could literally just read the countries for hours, but I won't.
Germany, Bulgaria, all over the world. I don't know if you missed this one that I brought up with the Eurovision reference.
Yeah, we are on nil point. I think I've decided though I'm gonna because I'm 40 next year. I am gonna take myself to Eurovision next year because it's only going to be in Italy and that's doable.
Oh, yeah,
I think I've always wanted.
I'm not a fan of Eurovision.
This is going well.
It reminds me of it's because it reminds me of like X Factor, but you don't know the songs.
Okay, yeah,
I'm just not into. I just don't, and it's really cheesy.
I quite like the cheese though. I do quite like the cheese. I don't mind a bit of cheese about it. But no, I've always wanted to go, and I was like, right, for my 40th, that's my present to me next year. New Mexico. See, I could do this for hours. Somebody was saying that they would just they're reading Just Like You, which was the book that we read because we interviewed.
Yes.
Lovely Nick Hornby, who I then did Sky with, and I felt awful because he just got such a berating by the book club that were live. They'd really kicked into it, and I was like, oh, he can see it downstairs. They say he can't, but he can. So yeah, but he said hello, and he said what a lovely day he'd had with us. So we won.
That hurts me a little bit.
We won. It was all fine.
I do find it hard as well when you actually get to a point where you start talking to authors and stuff, but you also have to honestly review the books, and it's like you'll have this way worse than me because I have very limited contact with authors, and I tend to work with a lot of indie authors. I'm big about promoting indies because traditional publishing doesn't love BookTube super much, especially not like the fantasy side. No.
Does it at all? That really, because in terms of like, I guess, literary, whatever that is, BookTube publishers are pretty good. And it surprises me. Fantasy channels are so big as well.
Yeah.
So
it's an odd one. They are getting better. Like I have contacts with a few different publishers now that definitely didn't exist like a few years ago. It was rare. I think though UK booktubers or booktube in general has come up quite a bit over the last like 4-ish years, I want to say. It didn't really exist too much like when I started. The only people, actually, I think the only channel that I knew of was Jean.
Yeah, Jean was one of the first ones that I knew. But I think we started the same year-ish, because I've just had my 5th birthday.
I've just had my 4th is next month.
Okay, so a little bit before. Yeah. But Jean, and I love Jean to bits. She's ace. Really, really, really lovely. She's a lovely, 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 lovely lady. Her and my mother get on very well because they're both classicists, and they bumped into each other at the British Museum, and I thought that was quite cute because they had a right old chat.
That's so cute.
You should give people a hammy update.
Oh, yes, I haven't, because I haven't said anything on YouTube recently. Hamilton is doing okay today. He was doing really bad yesterday, but he's doing a lot better today. He had the surgery. The problem was the butthole tear, let's say, that he had. That was his problem. And today, for the first time in almost 2 weeks, he peed by himself. But the problem that we're having is that the tear in his butthole won't heal. So we were in a little bit of an awful situation yesterday where they were saying that if they couldn't fix it, like, it might be time for us to say that they need to stop and just like let him go. But he came through in the night and he's improved on so many levels overnight. But I'm trying not to get too optimistic because he needs like that tear that they've been trying to repair needs to hold for at least like 2 or 3 days before they can confidently say that he's on the mend. But they have also found out that there was a particular type of bacteria in it that's resistant to the antibiotics they were using. So now that they've found out what that bacteria is, they can use specific antibiotics to treat it, which means that hopefully that won't be a problem anymore. So fingers crossed. I still need all of that healing energy because, like, we pulled him through last night, but we need to keep on pulling him through because that boy has got me up and down like a yo-yo at the minute. Like, I sobbed all yesterday. And then the update today was only positives. So it's just like, it's a roller coaster right now. But, that boy.
Isn't it amazing, like, the things they put us through, these little fluffy beings?
Yeah. It's just, honestly, when I found out he was injured a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't believe that he got injured on the only day that I'd ever like gone out. In the entire time that I've had him, this is the first time that I've been out for a substantial amount of time, and also that an injury could cause so much trouble because in terms of it's just one cut and it's about the size of a 5p, and that is the source of all of this.
Crazy. He'll pull through though, hopefully. I've got good feelings about it. It's awful though, isn't it? It's that I'm not known, and we had to rush Oscar, our eldest, like my children, to the vets during the pandemic because his eye went all weird, and basically they thought it was a cataract, but it's not. But they thought it was a tumor, and literally for 48 hours we were waiting to find out whether we were going to have him put down or not, and it was blooming horrible. And also we couldn't go in with him. That's the bit that made me the most upset. I was like, I can't be with him, and you know what I mean. So anyway. Fingers crossed.
Keep all your fingers crossed for my boy. Somebody said, is there a reason why they can't stitch up the hole? It's because when I took him to the vets here, they thought he had a tail pull injury, which is along the spine. When I took him to the specialist, he was referred because of a tail pull injury. They anesthetized him to do an MRI scan, which is what I talked about in my video. But because he was so dirty, because he'd been constantly like pooping all over himself, essentially, because he had no control there, they took the time to clean him up while he was anesthetized and discovered that he actually had this massive hole. So at that point, he'd had that hole for 5 days. And I don't mean to get grim here, but the entire time that hole was there was poop leaking through the hole. So the swelling on top of his, like, that we thought was an injury to the base of his tail was actually poop under his skin, all around his tail, down the insides of his back legs, and all around there. So they've now had to make a massive hole to scoop everything out. But by that time, the flesh had already started to degrade because it was unsanitary for this entire time. And when they're stitching it back together, the flesh is just continually dying off. and that's what they can't stop. So they'll stitch it and it'll just break down. So they'll stitch it back up. And this has been ongoing since last Wednesday. But he's not in any pain. He's a little bit uncomfortable because he's got bandages everywhere, but he's not in any pain and he's enjoying attention from all of the nurses and stuff. He's real lively. He's eating a little bit. He's now going to the toilet, at least peeing by himself. And that is where we're at with him. Bacteria is a bitch.
Oh,
Dr. David is taking great care of him. I honestly like this. The treatments cost a lot of money, but these vets are amazing. And even if he doesn't make it, I would definitely recommend them because they've just been so good the entire time. Was the hole caused by a scratch or something? We don't know, and I don't think we will ever know. He could have been in a fight and had it bitten. He could have scratched it on a rusty nail, not a rusty nail, but like a nail or something sharp when he was outside. And we don't know exactly what it was, but it's done some damage. But he should be on the mend. Fingers crossed. Which is why I'm here and I'm okay today, because I had good news. Yesterday would have been a completely different matter. Whew. So, what we reading?
Oh yeah, what are we reading? So we're reading Take a Hint, Dani Brown, because we've been reading this series so far together, which has been really nice because it's the sort of thing that neither of us would think of to read. It started off with Red, White and Royal Blue, didn't it?
Yes, we started with Red, White and Royal Blue. And then Chloe Brown. And now we're on Dani. What do you think of Dani so far? In comparison to Chloe, like?
I think it's faster paced.
I do actually think it's faster paced. The place where we left off, we're about to start chapter 6, we're at the same place. And the place where we left off, like, that was such a good place to end it, but also a cliffhanger. Because I'm like, I need to continue. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I really liked Chloe, so I don't know if I'm sold yet because a lot of people really love Dani.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I'm just going with it and seeing. What I like is the fact that Chloe and Red have appeared. So I like that, and I like the kind of cross world building that she's doing in terms of like they're kind of coming in out of it. So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be like a series on Netflix or so. Although how they would do the Steam, I'm not quite sure.
Well, I mean, have you seen Bridgerton?
True, very true. And actually, do you know what? I went and saw it at the cinema the other week. Ammonite, which is Kate Winslet as a fossil hunter, and Saoirse Ronan as kind of this woman that this man doesn't want her, so he leaves her with her. And so I was watching it, and it's a lesbian love story. And then there was one scene where I'm sorry, everyone, but I can only describe it as Saoirse Ronan using Kate Winslet's face as a cushion. And it was the most, like, everything was on show. And like, I was literally like, I was thinking, thank God I didn't go to see this with my mother. But I turned to my best mate, Piff, and I was like, is this necessary? And I was like, I've realised I've turned into a grandma. But it was so graphic. I was so shocked. Yeah. So I was thinking, there can't even be any skimpy, like, you know, nude pants going on here. It's a lot. It's more than I've seen in this so far.
Yeah.
But I like the way that she deals with lots of different subjects.
Yeah, so do I. I'm also liking, I like how she kind of flips gender norms on their head a little bit, where we have the men in these books kind of being the sweeter, softer cinnamon roll ones. Like we have Zaf in this one who listens and reads romance novels, and they are pretty much exclusively what he reads from what I can tell so far. Yeah. But that it was a good time when he was listening to the audiobook for whatever romance it was.
But also I like the fact that the blokes kind of have, I suppose, what society would give like more feminine worry, like Zafi has anxiety, which a lot of men don't talk about, particularly straight men. So I like that about that. And I thought the way that she's dealing with bisexuality in this is really interesting. Just like she dealt with chronic illness in the first one. So yeah, no, I really like it. But I said this to you before. I was really shocked that she was British, or it was British. I was so expecting it to be an American series.
Up until recently, all of the people I'd heard talk about this series were from the US, so I assumed that she was an American author. But as soon as we started Chloe Brown, I think it was because in the prologue of Chloe, the car that she nearly gets hit by is a Range Rover.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this British? Feels like it might be British. So then I checked, because I think even in the author thing at the back, it says that she's a British author. But yeah, I like it because I'm weird about British authors as well. Because you find in things like women's lit and thrillers, there's this really annoying stereotype of like a 30-something-year-old woman who lives in London, works in marketing or journalism, has a casual alcohol dependency and also commitment issues. And it is in so many different books. And I hate it so much. So if I start a book and it has anything like that, I'm just like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
See, that doesn't bother me. I don't. It's things like talking horses or talking animals in books. I'm like, I'm out. I can't do it. I can't do talking animals.
That hurts. I was just going to say hi to Cody as well, and I know for a fact that Cody loves talking cats in books. So you are now in Cody's bad books.
Uh-oh. Well, I've seen that what's the one that she's read recently that she said it really got to you? If you're an animal lover, you're gonna love it, but you're also gonna hate it. Or it's gonna make
Cat Chronicles?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not, I think really it's specifically talking horses, because horses I'm scared of because they know too much. They look at you and they know too much.
We've had very different experiences with horses, I think.
But this is what I love about books, though, is like we have such different tastes, but yet, like when we met on the set and everything, it was just like book chat straight away, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
We treat
both from almost the same place as well, which helps.
Yes, northern. Being northern always helps.
Definitely.
Not that I'm biased.
Horses are so sweet, little balls of anxiety.
Terrifying.
Oh, Cody does agree with horses.
Okay, that's fine then. So I've lessened the pain of that.
It's the talking pigs that know too much.
Oh, I can imagine, actually.
I don't think I've ever read a book with a talking horse.
Can I recommend it? Well, I know that Sharon Bolton, who writes crime, she purposefully wrote a book that was. I also don't like books set on boats. Part of the book was set on the boats, and part of the book had a talking horse in it, and she named one of her characters Simon Savidge to make me read it.
Oh.
But I wasn't allowed to be the psychopath in case a publisher's worried that I would sue. I was like, use it, do what you want with it. I
wouldn't be bothered.
Yeah, who wouldn't? I love horses because they don't. Oh, that's nice. Actually, I hadn't thought about that. That's a lovely thought. Okay, now I like horses a tiny bit more, just not talking ones.
The talking horses I don't recommend at Animal Farm.
But do you know what? I think that might be what put me off. I hated that book at school.
I can't remember. I know that we did read it, but I think it was year 7, and I don't really remember it. Oh no, it was the play that we did in year 7. Like, the whole school play was Animal Farm, I think, and it's the only production while I was there that I wasn't in.
Yeah, I didn't love that book at all. I hated it. But I didn't like any of the books that I read at school. It's why I stopped reading from like the age of 16 to 23. Just didn't read a book again. I was like, books are rubbish. Now I think they're great.
I can't remember what we read. There was Animal Farm that was for drama, and we read Martin Pig by Kevin Brooks. For GCSE, we did Romeo and Juliet and Of Mice and Men, which everyone does. Or Kes.
Yeah.
Kes or Of Mice and Men tends to be your text for school. And I think that's all I remember.
We did, what was the other one that we did? What's the one about Room with a View? I wanted to say, what's the one about the window? Room with a View, Simon. That famous one. And we did Shakespeare, and that was boring.
I like Shakespeare, but I need the Sparks Notes version so that I can translate it, because I struggle.
Yeah, but it's weird with school books, isn't it? I don't think I've got particularly fond memories of any school books. I don't know if anyone else has.
Kensuke's Kingdom we read in primary school. I liked that, by Michael Morpurgo.
I've just spotted that some people did To Kill a Mockingbird, and I didn't do that, but I loved it as an adult, and I think I would have not loved it if I'd read it at school.
Honestly, to be fair, doing things for school just kind of kills it. Like
Yeah.
I did English Lit at college for my A levels, but I dropped it after a few weeks because it was just too much, like too much analysis. So I switched to language instead because it was like dissecting every sentence is not fun.
No, that's what I didn't like about it. But I didn't finish my A levels. I left before my A levels were done. But I remember with Room with a View, we had to go over and over and over and over the same bit. And nobody wants that. Nobody hates it. No one. Look at that. We've got everyone going down memory lane of all the books they hated at school.
Oh, wow. Love the one with Fire on the cover by Michael Morpurgo. I do not remember.
I don't think I've read any Michael Morpurgo.
I've only read Kensuke's Kingdom, and I would actually like to read more, but I don't know whether he's an author that translates well to read as an adult. So I don't know whether I kind of missed my time. I might give it a go, though, because his books are super short.
Yeah. I feel like I might have read Warhorse once because people told me to, because of my horse aversion.
Okay, should we do a sprint?
Yep. You're in charge because I've never done sprints before.
Oh, it's an exciting time. I just realized that I am actually in charge, so I need to get the timer up because I always forget. Right, how long do you want to go for?
I don't know. How long do you recommend?
It depends how long you're comfortable to read, because we're reading romance. Like if I'm reading fantasy, I'd like longer ones because it takes a while to get into and it takes a while to read. But for romance, they don't need to be as long.
I reckon, I don't know. You're in charge.
Can you comfortably read for a decent amount of time, or are you a fidgeter?
I'm a fidgeter.
We'll go 20 minutes for the first one and see how you go.
All right, then. Breaking me in slowly, which is what I'm expecting from this.
The way that they're going, I'm not sure it's going to be slow.
No, that was the thing that I think I prefer about this. It seems to be pacier than the last one. That is what I like about him. I feel like we're going to get, I don't know, to it a bit quicker. Oh dear. Where are we meant to be reading to today, though? Chapter 10?
Chapter 11. So
yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll see you in 20 minutes then.
See you in 20.
Hello.
We're back.
How'd you do?
I giggled a lot.
Yeah, okay.
It's a very giggly book.
Yeah, it is. I read one chapter and then there was like 5 seconds left. That's as far as I got.
I read a chapter and a bit.
Ooh, fast reader, are we?
Got some text coming. You know, when you get text, I always read those faster. It just makes the book go quicker. The banter is really good in this.
It is. I do think I prefer the banter in Chloe though, just because they were more. It sounds weird. I was going to say because they were more aggressive.
Wow, that says a lot about you, Becca. That's all I'm saying. I'm enjoying this, I think, more just because it's... Can't really give anything away, can we? But because of the situation they're in, it can be much more snarky to each other and they have to smile through it.
Yeah. Somebody read 70 pages. Where is it? 73 pages. Oh, it's Hattie. Hattie reads real quick.
Wow.
Yeah. 30 minutes of audio. Yeah, I wish I could read that quick. So Hattie's TBR for this month and it has tons of like really chunky fantasy on. I'm just so jealous. I need that reading speed.
I wish I could read quicker. What I wish though is that I could be better at reading anywhere at any time. I'm really crap at that.
I can read on trains.
I can read on train, although I get so diverted by the window.
And normally, if somebody's having a conversation, I like to eavesdrop on people's conversations when I'm on the train.
That's amazing. No, I kind of, yeah. Although if people are on the phone, that gets on my wick. Although sometimes I'll be on the phone. But yeah, I can get way. I think it's because I'm quite nosy, so I like looking at like the houses and I don't know, just having a bit of a nebby. That's why
I always do the thing when you go past on the train, you go past someone's garden, and you're like, oh, they've got the washing out, and it looks like it's going to rain.
See, that's the reader and story creator in you, that.
Yeah. Tracy asked if I'm wearing pants today because there's a running joke that I don't wear pants when I'm streaming. I'm wearing a skirt, so I am wearing something, but not pants. So no, still no pants. Oh wow, yeah, Hattie's only got 3 books left on the TBR, and it was a big stack.
I don't know how people do it. Like, I'm envious.
So, how many books do you read a month, roughly?
It depends, because if it's for work, I have time in the week to read for work. So it depends. But then I think a lot of people think that I read for work all the time, and it's literally 20% of what I read, if that. But I don't know. It depends. So I can average like 4 books a week, 5 books a week if at a push.
Like normal books, like 300-400 pages, yeah.
Yeah, like I couldn't read, like when I see your videos, like I couldn't read 5 Robin Hobbs in a week. Also, the emotional roller coaster.
Oh god, yeah, no, that book was no joke. That was awful.
I tell you what, though, you and Cody and Gavin are inspiring me to sort of come up with some sort of TBR game. And I've been thinking of doing something with Uno because it's one of my favourite card games. But I can't work out what to do with it. Oh, I'm getting more comfy, sorry.
I think there are a couple of Unos, but I'm not sure exactly what they entail. But I would love to see you do a TBR game during the TBR game trend.
I love it because I love watching yours. I love watching Cody's. I love watching all of them. It's brilliant. But it's something that I've noticed doesn't happen in the sort of literary bloggers. But I think it's a really, really fun thing.
I think one of the reasons, because we were talking about the way that publishers treat like literary booktube and fantasy booktube differently. I do sometimes think that there is kind of a like the fantasy and more, I want to say like more commercial fiction, but to an online audience. Like I feel like literary fiction is towards like a mainstream audience of like what bookshops tend to advertise and like that kind of thing. Whereas the fantasy side is more like what's popular online kind of thing. And I feel like the side with the fantasy and everything is more like entertainment focused, whereas the literary side is more like review focused.
Yeah, maybe.
So I wonder if that's why publishers don't like us very much either.
Because you think like publishers would just like people who are excited, shouting about books, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because I think
it doesn't matter to them, because I've had so many publishers be like, well, not so many, but sometimes they said, oh, I'll send you, can we send you this book to post a picture of? They don't even want my thoughts on it. So like, they don't want me to review it. But then I have heard a popular argument in that publishers don't like BookTube because BookTubers don't review books. And it's like a transient kind of media that is like throwaway content, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I guess so, but I think wrap-ups do really well. They're kind of the lifeblood, aren't they, of YouTube in part, and sort of hauls. And I think that's where it's really good for publishers, because you're getting, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it might only be held up for like 30 seconds or whatever, but that's still 30 seconds. And then they have no real press left to put books into. They've got to do them somewhere. So yeah, I don't quite get it. I don't get it at all.
No, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Jenny literary fiction and has a TBR game. Oh my god, I'm going to need to look that up, Jenny.
Oh,
yeah, but and if anybody's got any ideas, because what I liked about Uno was that you can make it into and there was something about that I thought I could do something with. Probably nothing. But in my head, I was like, books, my TBR, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a tenuous link, but I like it.
It's very tenuous. And I couldn't think of any, because the other ones were like Cluedo, but I couldn't turn Cluedo into a TBR game.
That would be really, no, you have to do that. I don't know how it would work, but I feel like there's a good opportunity for like storytelling within that.
Miss Scarlet with a hammer in the billiard room. If I lived in a stately home, it'd be perfect.
To be fair, the decor in your house is kind of fancy. You have that kind of like stately home vibe going on with like the decoration.
Nana chic. I've told you.
Is that what we call it?
I'm absolutely all about the nana chic. Completely.
I love your bold walls.
Yeah, I don't like.
What room is it that's got like you've got is it like an electric blue, a little bit darker than electric blue room? I love that.
Electric blue, and then this room's like a bluebelly colour. You can't really, bluebell. What's that like? Lilac. We've got room, turquoise spare room, orange spare room. Like I just like a lot of bold colour. Although weirdly, when me and my husband met and I moved into his whole house was beige, grey, and white. No beige, grey, or white rooms in this house. Not allowed.
Wow, I'm nervous with color. I don't think I have a good eye for color, which is one of the reasons why I'm not good at like Instagram and like really pretty bookstagrams.
Really good at Instagram, I think.
I'm getting better. I'll give myself that. I am getting better, but in terms of like flat layers and stuff, flat layers are my enemy. Sometimes I know what I want to post, and sometimes I'll lay everything out and it'll work. But if it doesn't work, I can't rearrange things and make it work. It's just not working, and it doesn't happen. And I just don't have a good eye for aesthetics. So I'm really nervous about color, because it's like I don't want to paint this wall turquoise and then it look terrible because I just can't do it.
I don't know. See, I think you just have to be really brave and bold. I mean, I like it because it's really good for mental health. Although when I used to drink a lot, it wasn't very good, because then you'd wake up and every room was like a hangover. That wasn't great. But because also I'm such a basic bitch on Instagram and generally will literally just hold a book in front of one of the walls that it matches, that's where it's been quite nice, actually, because I love people when they do all of the flat lays and stuff. I just can't do it. It's not me at all.
I've just noticed that Ashley's popped in. Hello, my love. Ashley is one of the reasons why I'm better at Instagram, and also like if something's not working, because Ashley's got a really good eye for aesthetics, so if something's not working and I'm trying to take a bookstagram photo or do a thumbnail, I just send a picture to Ashley and I'm like, what do I need? Because like, when you can tell something's wrong but you don't know how to fix it, and Ashley, like especially with my thumbnail, she's like, oh, just put an arrow, and it makes everything better.
Well, that's brilliant. I saw that Ashley's moving to Edinburgh, which is very exciting.
This week, I think it's on Saturday.
They're going to be very, very, very lucky to have it. Edinburgh is such a great city.
It is nice. I've never had any particular desire to live in Scotland, but I've been to Edinburgh and Glasgow, and they are both very, very nice cities. I will say that.
I was quite good before the pandemic. I had to go to Glasgow or Edinburgh once a month, and then it all stopped. And I was fuming because I love both cities. But no, she's going to have a great time up there.
She's excited because we're talking about aesthetics.
Also, I'd say some people have said that they've done Uno ones or they've done Cluedo games. If there's some way of letting me know, and then I can go and find you, because I haven't got a pen or paper or anything with me at the moment. But yeah, I noticed that some people said Griff reads, and I think Kendra said she'd seen some Cluedo ones. So I'm intrigued because I like the idea of doing a game. Because one thing that I've started doing this year, which Emma from Drinking by My Shelf was doing, which I really liked, but it's really tricky, isn't it? Because when you like something that somebody else is doing, you don't want to copy it or be seen to copy it. And she does sing the bookshelves. And what I've now started doing is one in, one out, where I have to make sure like that, well, the shelves I've got are the limit. And it's been really, really fun to do. But I was really nervous at first. I was like, I'm really not ripping you off, Emma, I promise.
When you said my shelves are the limit, I was like, yeah, I used to say that once as well.
Now I've decided to
stack of hardbacks there and nowhere to put them.
Just like, and then if I let you see down there, it's not true. But I haven't had a good sort out in ages. Need to sort out. I want one with my Nana Chic. I want one of those bookshelves that rotates. Apparently useless, but I really, really want one.
I want one of those chairs that's got shelves all around it.
Yes.
That would be cool. I think Curtis found one for sale somewhere, and you can put like 300 books on them or something, which would be really helpful.
Handy, as long as they're comfy.
See, that's the thing, because they're real square, because it's just like a...
You just have to get loads of cushions.
Yeah. But then my ass is kind of wide, so I'm not sure if it would fit in with all of the cushions.
Don't be cray-cray.
Everybody wants you to try my game.
Yeah, well, okay, 1 month I'll do Becca's game. That's how we'll start this crazy shenanigans.
That's hilarious. You're going to read so much fantasy.
Oh, yeah, and I don't have very much.
To be fair, my original board doesn't have that much fantasy on it. Is this it? Is this my first one? I can't even tell anymore. Yeah. So we have historical fiction, paranormal or magical realism, contemporary or romance, mystery or thriller, YA fantasy, adult fantasy, science fiction, and classics.
Okay, that's doable.
That's not too bad.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do then. I'll try and do it in July.
Oh, wow.
Do it in July. Well, if I don't do it in July, because of a lot of work reading in July, but if I don't do it in July, I'll definitely do it in August.
Exciting. I can film the rolls for you. I can roll.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Because I can just send you the clip that I do with all the rolls in, and then you can just edit it into your own video.
That would be amazing. Oh yeah, okay, let's do that in July or August.
Oh yeah, Michael's been doing it where he follows other people. So like he did mine for the first one, I think, where he kind of live reacts to somebody else's TBR and has to pick. He has to either read the same book as the person, read a book that they would recommend, or his own pick, depending on like a certain variant. And it was fun because I had, was it April or May that he did mine, and I had a really bad rolling month. Like it just was not a good TBR. I felt so bad.
Was it a lot of doubles?
I think there was a couple of doubles, and there was also, was it the one that I had 8 books? It might have been, because like my base is 5 and I'd ended up with 8. It just wasn't fun.
Yeah, if
anybody uses the Shelflove board, that one's really big.
Oh.
Which is this one. Just like have them all here to hand.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you've got them really close. Are they with you at all times? Yeah,
I fold them up and put them in my pocket.
Wherever you go. So basically in London, I could have said, Becca, whip out your Bookopoly board and let us do it now.
Yeah. There we go. There's all.
That's
I can't even get them all on screen. There we go. There's all 4 boards.
They're beautiful as well.
Ashley did them. I made 2 of them, but Ashley tends to be here sometime around Christmas, and I make me a board.
That's make me a board.
I do all of the plotting and all of the outlining, but she does all of the drawing. So I feel like you can tell because this is the one I've made with my terrible illustrations, and then there's Ashley's.
That's amazing. Oh gosh, yeah, I'm so gonna do some book copy. That's what we'll do. But I do like the idea of sort of eventually finding a board game. It's just right for me.
I'm very excited.
Cluedo. Apparently, some people are saying there are some Cluedo ones, but yeah. But if there's some way, like if people, without sounding like beggy, comment somewhere on my channel or something and say what, maybe I'll do a video about should I do a book game TBR. Although it'll probably only be 5 minutes of me talking, and they never tend to do very well. The really short ones.
The colours for Uno could be different genres.
That's a good idea. And I was also thinking they could match the numbers, could match the shelves, because I've got a certain amount of shelves left.
Savidge Scrabble.
Oh my god, that's a good one. Or Savidge Scrabbles could be quite good.
Or Savidge Scrambles when you can't find the books that you need.
That's better. Savidge Scrabbles. And I do love alliteration. I do love it. And also, one thing we were thinking about doing, weren't we, Becca, although you might have thought I was joking, but I was deadly serious, is going to Blackpool in the summer and doing a BookTube does Blackpool.
Yeah, I love Blackpool so much.
I love Blackpool so much. It's so much fun.
It is, and it's a wonderful, like, horrifically tacky place, but it's just so much fun.
It is. It's one of the best places ever. But yeah, any suggestions for games or how I could do a TBR game? Because I love watching them. I get really tense on behalf of everyone.
I really enjoy doing them, even if like I'm talking to, like, for example, Steph does a Bookopoly, and I was talking to Steph the other day, and I know exactly how many rolls are in Steph's TBR and what she landed on because she told me, but I'll still watch the video and be like, oh my god, as I'm watching it, but I already know exactly what is happening. Ash asked, what is this Blackpool? It's like a mini Las Vegas.
It's not as good as that.
And it's just not. It's like a bad Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's like a small, bad, yet still brilliant Las Vegas. Because it's just like a huge theme park by the sea with loads of like tacky shops, and you can buy sticks of cock rock, which I have to do every time I go, and I have to find someone to give it to. Just for the fact that I can buy it.
And there's also like it's hen parties and stag parties. Love Blackpool. There's like sex shops and stuff.
Charity shops.
Oh yeah, I haven't been to those in years. Wow.
Yeah, and you've got lots of different piers as well. I've forgotten how many different sites there were to go on stuff. Some of the best fish and chips you can get. It's just a good time.
All of the rides are super dangerous, though.
Yeah,
like that, you fear for your life when you're on them, but it's a great time.
Yeah, we went on the Grand National, which is where the 2 wooden ones race each other, and literally you are out of your seat, like thrown around because they're from like 1950.
How bruised were your hips the day after?
Oh, I had bruised hands and hips, but the new one called Icon, which it's so fast. I think it does like 20 loops in 3 minutes.
Wow.
But it's so comfortable that after all the other rides you've been on, you're like, this is the dream. I don't care how scary it is. I'm on a sofa.
That's the only one that I haven't been on because I haven't been in at least 5 years because the last time I went with my ex. So 5 or 6 years, I think I haven't been. But yeah, I really want to go again. Because, oh, no, I went with Ryan a couple of years ago. So I have been more recently.
Becca, we've got to do it.
I want to go to Alton Towers. I haven't been to Alton Towers in ages either.
My brother was at Alton Towers today. I was quite jealous.
Yeah.
But every time I've been recently, the Smiler's always broken down, which makes me really nervous of it.
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
Everyone used to go to Blackpool. People are like, Blackpool. Somebody called it a sin bin.
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty accurate.
That is pretty accurate. That's
Okay.
it. I get distracted by people's comments. I get distracted while I'm reading. What are people talking about? What's going on?
I do as well, because normally the chat is pretty quiet when you're actually reading. So when people are talking, I'm like, what's going on? What's everybody saying?
What's everyone reading? I want to know.
A lot of people did say right at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention early on. I was enthralled in our conversation.
Never been to Alton Towers, and Smiler puts me off still. I don't think I've been on it since. I have been on Smiler.
Yeah, I've never been on it. Never.
My favourite ride is Oblivion, and that's because it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Or like it holds you over that drop. It terrifies me, but I keep going on it, even though I know that it's the bad kind of scare as well, where it feels like my heart stopped.
It's like the big one, though. The big one, by the time you're even halfway up to the top at Blackpool, I'm terrified, because you know that you've still got that horrific first drop.
I'm scared of the Pepsi Max because I first went to Blackpool when I was 7, and I was quite tall when I was a child, so I was tall enough to go on it, and it was way too scary for me at 7 years old. So even though I've been to like there's like really big rides in Florida, Orlando, and I can go on all rides and not be really bothered, that one still always scares me, because I remember how scared I was the first time I was on it. And also, when you go down the first drop, the car tilts to the side when you're going around the corner, and just, yeah. So I think you have to be the last person in to be on the outside when it tilts. So whoever I'm with has to get on first, because I will not be on that inside edge that tips around. Do not like it.
We went with my mate Jen, and I don't know how old her son was, but possibly about that age. And he was really, really up for it, went on it, and then came off and was just like, that was all the response that we were getting. I really, really felt for him, because it's a full one. Yeah. I did the big one and forgot to flash, Tracy Vince said. Me too.
Flashing on the Pepsi Max is the most. I've been so many times. How did I not know that this was a thing?
No, I didn't know. Right, that's what we've got to do.
Why not?
We'll vlog it.
Because there's the camera at the top.
I'm going to get a GoPro.
Oh, God.
Oh, it'd be a joy.
We have some of the books that people are reading.
Oh, lovely.
Wow, there's a lot.
Gosh, there are a lot.
Scroll through them.
My cat Yugoslavia is great. I saw that one. That was a really good book. Really weird, but brilliant.
Gideon, Blood Magic, The Opposite of Love. Dani. We have somebody reading Dani with us.
Hooray!
History of Vikings. Way of Kings, yes. And then there were none.
Oh, that's really, really good. Christie, I like that.
I haven't read it, but I've seen it's one of my favourite Christie adaptations.
I think it's one of her best stories.
I've only read 1050 to Paddington, 1050 from Paddington. Is that what it's called?
450.
450. And I read it when I was quite young, maybe early teenage years, because I used to watch all of the adaptations with my mum.
Oh, I love that.
That's all I've read.
Yeah, I'd like to read some more Christie. There's just too many books and not enough time.
I feel that.
And also, like we were saying earlier, sometimes I think because there's so many, it can get overwhelming, and then I'd stop being excited about books for a little bit every so often. And I feel really awful, because I'm like, but I love them. So why am I not excited about them all? I don't know. And do you ever have moments where you think, I could just put them all in storage and start again?
I'm very attached to objects. I don't think I ever could. There's sometimes where I'm like, why do I have so many books? Like, or because I'm thinking I need more bookshelves. There's no room. In this house has a big radiator on the best wall of every room. It's so frustrating. There is only one big wall in this room, which is that one. And there's a radiator on it, which is why the sofa's there instead of a wall of bookshelves. And it's the same in every single room. So I need more bookshelves, but I've got nowhere to put them, so they're gonna have to go in other rooms. And it's like, but I also need like a chest of drawers to put towels and sheets and stuff in, and like all this other stuff. But I need to fill the space with books because I just have so many, but I just can't part with them. I do want to read them all as well, the ones that I have that I haven't read.
I think I do. I think that's one thing that's been really good about the one in, one out. It has made me really think about if I've got to keep something new, what do I really not? And that has been quite helpful, actually. It's also made me remember to read more backlist books than I was doing before. So
I've started to read more backlist now because I was reading too many first books in a series and couldn't keep up with them. But like I've got stuff that was published like 6 years ago, the entire series, and haven't read. So I'm trying to read through old series and wait in until there's more installments in new series before I actually pick them up.
Yeah, I don't read many series. I've got loads of crime books where I've got like the whole series, but I haven't started the first one yet. And I think at some point I might do a vlog where I literally pick the first in every series and just give it a whirl. But yeah, I'm a bit like that with vlogs at the moment because I really like making them, but I don't think my audience likes them as much. But then
I really like making vlogs. Have you been doing them a long time though? Because I found like when I first started, nobody cared. But now they get like the most views of my weekly videos because I do them every week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get back into the swing. I had a phase earlier this year where I tried to do them weekly and they were building up. And then there's certain stuff like when I was judging the Desmond Elliott, we couldn't talk about what we were reading. So I was like, well, I can't make a vlog. But also, I don't know, I think I just need to I don't believe in having exact, what's the word? Not strategies, schedules. But actually, it's quite a good thing to do because people know what they're going to get on a specific day potentially. So whereas I just move my vlog to whatever day I feel like.
I have the schedule for myself because if I don't have routines and schedules in place, then I don't do anything.
Okay.
Just nothing.
Yeah, but you run your own business, so you've got to be uber like. Whereas I'm the CEO that'll bollock me if I don't do things on time.
True.
Sorry, but no, I do need to get more into schedules.
Maisie loves your vlogs. I think your vlogs are interesting because you're always going somewhere as well.
Well, maybe that's why I felt a bit because I haven't been anywhere for a couple of weeks. But I'm excited because I'm doing London and Newcastle next week. And then the weekend I'm going to Portsmouth.
Random, but
all of them libraries predominantly. So it's quite nice to do that.
Yeah.
I live in Portsmouth. I was a hairdresser in Portsmouth, Becca.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I had a boyfriend in Portsmouth when I was 16. Or maybe Southampton, I don't remember.
Very similar, but don't tell that to the other one.
I was going to say I've had both, but I can't remember which one.
I meant the Sis.
I didn't.
I gathered. I'm impressed.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
On that note, should we go for another sprint?
Okay. 20 minutes was about right.
You want another 20?
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine. I am for people, because like people in the comments, like intense sprints as well as chilled sprints. Like I'm doing whatever-a-thon sprints tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And we will do intense sprints then, because people have been asking for dice sprints as well, and I'll do dice sprints for that.
What's a dice sprint? See, I'm
dice
so
sprint. Oh my god! Dice sprint started in Becca last year.
So oh my god! Get out!
See, dice again. I roll the dice, and every dot is 5 minutes. And that's how long we sprint for. And then if I roll the double, you have to change books.
Wow.
Started in Bookathon last year, but now it's just something that people always ask for every time I do sprints. Like, are these dice sprints? So they always do tend to turn into them. But we'll ease you in because you can have up to an hour with dice sprints. We may do dice sprints in the future. And then tomorrow for whatever-a-thon, I will do dice sprints for you guys. Because I know you love them.
I feel bad now because if people want an intense one, there's me going, oh, I just like 20 minutes. That was great.
Different types of sprints for different types of situations.
I love how many people are saying either, oh my God, Simon, or Simon, you're such a sprint virgin. I am. This is my first time. Literally, Becca is deflowering me in sprint.
Live on YouTube. Right, we will do another 20 minutes. I'm going to take a bathroom break as well in this one.
I am as well. I'm going to do that like almost as soon as it starts.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
I'm not taking you all to the bathroom with me, so I'll see you all in a little bit.
Hello.
Hello. I had to go and get the cat in because she only responds to me.
Oh.
But I also made a cup of tea while she was not responding to me, so that was well played. How far have you got?
Not far that time. I didn't even finish a chapter, but I was on for a little while because I needed to refill my drink as well. About 11 pages, not bad considering I had 12 minutes left when I got back. Leanne commented on my eyebrows. I can't read like anything romantic live without giving away when I'm at like the bits that I enjoy, you know?
What bits might those be, Becca? What bits might those be?
Well, you know, there was some innuendo. Really exciting. I enjoyed it a lot. Somebody asked just as we went to sprint, so we missed it. But are you enjoying the sprint, Simon?
Yes, I'm doing what I thought I'd do, which is chat too much. And I'm worried now Becca's never going to invite me back because I can't do intense. I just do chilled and chatty.
Honestly, the week that I've had, I'm just happy to be in a decent enough mood where I can be here without being ridiculously unstable. So just having a good time. This book is like really good as well for me because it's like really light and funny and it just like generally lifts your mood.
I think this book's reminded me of how much fun reading can be. Like, yeah. That sounds really stupid because I read loads and I enjoy what I read, but there's something about knowing you're going to love a book as you're reading it and that you're just happy for it to go whatever. I mean, I do find I get slightly frustrated with, I think this is speedier, but I still want it to be a bit speedier. And I know that's building the tension and because of that, but sometimes I'm like, you only spell it that much. We can tell because her writing's so good, you get the tension very strongly.
I have to say that I am a fan of sexual tension as opposed to the actual like sex in books. So I like the banter and the build up. And we had this discussion when we were reading Chloe where I really like the will they, won't they, and the angst. And like when they like couples in books have like a really big argument, it's like, oh no, it's all going to be over. But like, you know that it's not because it's a romance, so it has to end with a happily ever after. Otherwise, it's not a romance.
I like that more in the last one. I think this one, because of the way the plot is, they can't do that as much. No, well, actually, this is something that we talked about before, isn't it? That I don't believe the men in her books, more Chloe actually than this one, I think, are as generous or selfless as she makes them in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because she never went. She did. Yeah. I just realized that's kind of a spoiler. Never mind. But Leanne has just reminded me of the steps. I thought she was referring to steps as in like, you know, like a 10-step program, but it's the steps in Chloe. The steps.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
You don't forget the steps in Chloe.
Leanne also wants the page number, but it's just like the last chapter and a half I've read is pretty much just all like innuendo and banter.
There's a lot of that in this, but there's more innuendo and banter, I think, in this one.
I really like how flirtatious it is. It also reminds me of those beginning stages of a relationship that are really fun, you know, like when you're getting, like it's actually putting me in that position where like you're texting and talking with someone and it is really flirtatious and you get to a point where like they get busy for an hour so they don't reply and you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah. Oh, you also have that worry of like, am I getting ghosted?
Yes. And it's only been 10 minutes, but you know.
But your brain is like, I've been ghosted.
I told you earlier when we were talking about anxiety, like I'm a picker, so like I'm impatient. I can't deal with it.
Yeah. I've just seen someone mention, because I'm rereading Shuggy Bane this week, and you do have to be in the right headspace for it. Tony Lee 09. You're right. And I've got to read 90 pages of that a day this week. So this is actually the perfect tonic, because Shuggy Bane is like really depressing about alcoholism and it's work about Glasgow in the 80s. So again, I think it's that sort of just delightfully, I don't know, just enjoyable.
I think you go into books for different things as well. Like I can't read light stuff like this all of the time. Generally, this is going to sound really sad. I'm not generally a happy person. Like I'm not always optimistic and like really happy and like glowing. I'm more of like a realist kind of person. So reading books like this all the time just really wouldn't work for me because it's not me kind of thing. And it's like I'm not going into Robin Hobb looking to be happy, because if I was, that would be very disappointing. Because all of her books are sad, and I really like sad books and sad stories. Like my favorite movies are like Moulin Rouge, Titanic. There's a big theme with like 500 Days of Summer, not the same kind of theme, but really sad. Oh, that one really hurts. Seeking a Friend at the End of the World. I love that one so much. But like
I don't love a happy book either. I'm much more your kind of grim. I like it to be a bit dark, a bit gothic. Probably awful things are going to happen to most of the characters, and some of them are quite unlikable. So again, I think this is like a perfect tonic. And I couldn't read these all the time. I think that's why it's quite good that unintentionally we're sort of doing one a month. That's kind of nice for this, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying these way more than I liked Red, White, and Royal Blue.
I am as well. But it was the politics in Red, White, and Royal Blue that really got to me, because, like, obviously it's relevant to the story and what Casey McQuiston is trying to do with that story. But in terms of me going into it as a British reader wanting a romance, then all of that stuff is just going over my head. I will say, though, I did get slightly emotional at the end of that when, like, everything was happy and I was happy for them. But yeah, I definitely prefer this.
I would quite like to read Casey's new one. Everyone I know who's read it, I can't remember what it's called, has said it's really brilliant.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one because it's got a bit of a sci-fi twist with I think it's a girl who's stuck on a train from a different time period kind of thing, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think that one sounds really cool. I need to buy that one, actually. I haven't ordered it.
I was sent it for my birthday. My friend Cassie pre-ordered it for me, and we're going to be buddy reading that at some point. We haven't decided when, but I'm really excited for that. You and Tony Lee are reading the same two books at the same time.
We are indeed. This and Shuggy, Shuggy, Shuggy.
Leanne's also said that I'm bringing the dark and angsty vibes and you're bringing cottagecore. I feel like we need to vote on aesthetics. I feel like that is definitely a representative of personalities as well.
I don't know, because I think a little bit, but I don't know. One thing that I've realised that I don't do is I'm always worried that my humour on YouTube will make people really upset, or I'll say something that I think is funny but other people find offensive. Not like anything outrageous, but just like I think I'm probably a lot more euphemistic and innuendo filled in real life than I am on my channel. But my channel has weird things, like if I get my knees out on my channel, people complain. Like, or I'll get like I've had my shoulders out on Instagram before and people have unfollowed because I was being a bit much. Oh, and then the one where I had me and my mate Jen with cock with rock cock. Loads of people unfollowed me for that. And I'm like, okay, I don't really want you around if you're not up for fun.
That is so weird. I used to be conscious of that, obviously. As a woman, you're supposed to be like proper and all of that kind of stuff, but that was never me. But as I've leaned into my channel and I'm more comfortable being myself on my channel, I do just tend to go, like, I'm the person who makes an innuendo out of everything in every live show because I just can't help it. And I'm doing all right at the minute. I can't say how many people have unsubscribed because of it, though, because I never used to read smut. I actually did a reaction video last year to a video I'd made in 2017 where I said, what did I say? I didn't like, it was a tag video and the question was, what genres will you never read? And I said crime because I just don't like crime. I also said erotica. Because like I said something like I don't see the point of it and it's just not something I'm interested in, and now it's just like jokes on me because I'm just like wall smart all day every day.
But do you think I think it's really interesting how we change as readers through periods of time. I think as well, and I don't know if you feel the same, but like the more I read and the more I'm sort of open to more different types of books, I feel like I don't know what I like as much anymore.
I go through phases. Like every year I tend to have a thing that I want to read. Like I think 2019 was like really logic-based sci-fi. And then 2020 was fantasy romance. And now I'm kind of going into just general romance and actually some, I don't know if you'd say that the Katie Robert books are like erotica, but like very smutty books. And I'm still reading fantasy romance, and I've gone into more like indie fantasy romance as like a thing that I'm quite known for. But I do tend to go through phases. And every single year it changes like what my niche of the year is going to be.
Yeah, I can't work out what mine is anymore. I don't know.
I still read a bit of a mixed bag. But I think it's epic and high fantasy and fantasy romance that people kind of associate with me.
Yeah. I think as well, because of work, I get picked a lot of what I read sometimes, although like I said, it's not a lot of it's probably about 20-30%. But I think because some of that is the stuff that people will see me read more of or associate with me by proxy, that's quite a weird. Oh, thanks. That's a nice thing to see. I think I've always worried because I think when I started any kind of, I blogged before I did BookTube, but I was really into modern classics, and now I just don't read modern classics. It's really weird. I like contemporary literature or fiction or whatever. I don't tend to head back to modern classics as much. That's really, really changed.
We also have you are influencing people to read more literary fiction. I'm influencing people to read smut.
Well, I need like at some point for you to pick some like fantasy that I try out, because I haven't read fantasy. I loved it when I was younger though. Absolutely loved it.
I always get nervous when people ask me for recommendations, because obviously I've read a lot of fantasy now and there's lots of different types of fantasy. Yeah. And I just don't know what, especially because we don't really have any books in common. So it's not like I can say, well, I've read this book that you really enjoyed and I think you will like this because of that. Like we read very different things and then read romance together. So.
Yeah, true.
Somebody said here, woman showing off their love of romance and smut and not feeling embarrassed about it. We love to see it. This is definitely like, I've never been apologetic for who I am in any way. So I'm glad that those are the vibes that you're getting, because romance is definitely looked down upon. And there are authors that get trashed a lot because of romance, and a lot of times first off, like, it's not a lesser form of literature at all, because you read, as we've discussed, you read different books for different reasons. And yes, you might get a certain thing out of romance, but that doesn't mean that it's any less worthy than like a literary fiction or an epic fantasy. So yeah, just read what you want to enjoy. There's a lot of elitism within like general book communities, which is really irritating. And we are not about that.
No, because I think it's quite interesting, like, that I think some people are initially like, oh, you're reading books with each other, but why wouldn't we? Do you know what I mean? Just we're like different books doesn't mean, I don't know.
And there is some crossover, which is apparently the contemporary romance. Because even though I do read romance, it does tend to be fantasy. Just because I like having the fantasy plotline there as well. But yeah, it's a weird world, the book community.
It is, and it can be very cliquey. I didn't think it was, and then I've started to feel it is a bit again. And what I can't deal with, I'm off on one now, is I've got like, you know, when like some people do my favorite post of the week of other, I just can't do that anymore. Like, I've never really done it, but I can't get into it, because for me, that's like, I always know you're going to unintentionally miss someone out. And I remember being as a kid missing out on stuff. And it's like almost that PE picking element of like, oh, who's on my team? Who's my favorite this week? And I just can't be dealing with any of that crap. And also I had a real issue for a while where I was like, you know, people are saying I'm a bookstagrammer, but I don't just post books. But actually, I'm kind of quite glad that I'm just sort of off on my own, if you know what I mean. Not doing it. Although Instagram at the moment, I feel like I don't have anything to say on Instagram at the moment.
Oh, I've been struggling as well, like not having a reason to post anything. It's like, I don't like to have the same kind of picture next to each other as well. So like I was going to post a picture of Take a Hint, Dani Brown, but the last one I did was just like a book. So I was like, well, I can't do that and I can't be bothered with a flat lay. So guess we won't post about this one. And everything on my Instagram, because my Instagram started off as my personal account and it still kind of is. It has to be relevant to the moment. So I can't do what some people do where they take like enough photos for 2 weeks, because the picture that I post has to be relevant to what I'm doing in that moment.
Yes. No, I agree with this. I mean, one thing that I do like is I like it when people have them as well as books, because I always think that's why people watch YouTube, because you want to know the people behind the books they're talking about, because the more you get to know them, the more you understand why they do and don't like stuff. But also, I'm just very nosy. But I do think, like, I couldn't just for the next, say, when I was in Wales and took those pictures, I couldn't do that for 2 weeks while I'm at home. It just wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah, like if I take a selfie, the absolute latest I will post it is the day after it was taken, because then it's not relevant. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
I wish I could get better, because I do it with books where I feel like, oh, I've got some book pictures that I took ages ago and I just haven't talked about the books because I get really, really behind on it, because I don't like to have book. I just don't like. For me, I love looking at it on other people's, but it just doesn't work for me on mine. And so I wish I could be a bit more like, here's a book I read 2 months ago. Let me tell you about it now. But I just can't do it, because I was going to do Chloe Brown. And I was like, but I feel like I read that ages ago.
Yeah. The only exception that I kind of have is if I have an arc and I intend to post the picture on the day of release.
Right.
Then I'll take the picture whenever I can be bothered taking the picture, and then just save it until the time, because then that is still relevant at the time that I post it, because that's the day of the book's release. But that is about it. But I do suck at keeping track of new releases and posting on release days and stuff anyway.
I've seen that. Have you seen Ada Moon's comment? That's what I meant about people, and it's a lovely comment, but it's that people are surprised when different people from different parts of BookTube do stuff together. It's almost like people like it, but it's almost like it's a shock.
Yeah. Well, YouTube brought us together, like literally. They forced us together.
And also, what was annoying about that was I wish we'd taken more pictures that we could have put on Instagram, speaking of that, because we were told, like, it's a secret, you can't really say anything. I didn't take that many pictures on the day at all. I think I took one selfie in a mirror and just kind of like, where am I? But and I also really need to read. Emma's got a new book out, a new non-fiction book out, and I really want to read, because she was fab. I liked Emma a lot.
Yeah, I also really liked Emma. That was a really weird experience for me, because like, you have an agent. Emma does quite a few TV things, and I was just emailed by YouTube, and I was like, I don't understand why I'm here. This is really weird.
No, but you were brilliant. It was just such a good event. And also, I will say, like, my agent, it sounds really grand when you say that, and I suppose it is a little bit, but that's only a quite recent thing.
Yeah.
Ish. I still find it really funny. I went to a party with him and he was asking me to introduce him, and I just couldn't, because I was like, this is Grant, Mike. Because I just felt like a tosser. So.
Wow.
Oh, interesting that people don't like social media in general. I love social media. I do love it.
It depends. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. Instagram I enjoy more than Twitter, but I find Twitter more useful than Instagram. But Twitter can be a horrible place to be. Yeah,
it's a horrible place to be, and it's but it can really go. I met my husband on Twitter, so I love it for that. But I also, Instagram's just a happier place, and I think it's because it's more images, less words. But I do think it was Sana at Books and Quills. I remember her saying, I think it was a couple of years ago, that she tries to make the internet that she wants to see. And I thought, actually, that makes sense. Like, if I'm not enjoying Twitter, how do I make it a nicer place to be? What can I do? And even if it's only like for a couple of people that I cheer up in a day, that's a win. I will say that BookTube's really surprised me in a positive way, because I found it a really warm place.
Yeah, you get the odd person who's horrible, but most of the time it is pretty nice. Like, I had Curtis, my boyfriend, is into like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards and stuff, which are like quite collectible now. Some of them are really like worth a lot, like even the brand new ones.
Yeah.
And he has a friend who he met at the local game shop that he goes to for like tournaments and stuff, who made a YouTube channel. And he doesn't even have that many subscribers. He's got like a couple of hundred. And he was being torn apart in the comments because he'd done like a deck profiling video, which is essentially like, this is the deck that I play with, these are all the cards, and he was getting ripped apart in the comments, and his video didn't even have that many views, and it was like a real small community on a video that wasn't viewed that much, and people were being awful.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I actually went and commented and was like, this is a really useful video for somebody who's getting into Yu-Gi-Oh, just because I felt horrible at everybody being mean.
Yeah, but you can get a few. I remember I got when I started, I had a few people leave comments like, could you we like what you're saying, but could you go and like lose weight and come back in 6 months? And I was like, no, I'm going to go and eat a cake, thanks. And then the other one, my absolute favorite was one Christmas. I had a comment where someone said, I'm going to throw you and that faggoty Christmas jumper off a roof. So I just responded with, I don't think you could lift me up. It's all so ridiculous.
People are awful.
If you're not tough skin, that could be really hard. Like,
especially with the slur in there as well.
Yeah.
There was somebody who had a vendetta against me, but was really nice to all of my friends, which was hilarious. So they were in the comments of all of my friends' videos and stuff, saying really nice things, and then they would comment on, like, they commented on one of Gavin's videos, saying that they were glad that he posted a video because mine was really boring. And then they came into my comments, and it was actually when we were in London together doing that thing, because I had pre-scheduled content going up, and Ashley was here looking after Hamilton. And I sent her a screenshot of the comment that they'd left on my video, because they said something like I needed to lose the lockdown pounds. And Ashley went absolutely mental because they'd started commenting on her videos because she was with me. And she was like, I've noticed that you have a problem with Becca and that you only say things like you're horrible to me if I'm with her. And it's like, what's your problem? And then he was saying about how you can't say what you want on the internet anymore. And it was really weird. Because, like, he was really nice to all my friends. But the thing is, like, how stupid can you be to not know that, like, we all talk to each other? Well, you obviously know that we know each other. Otherwise, you wouldn't be commenting about my videos on my friends' videos.
I think as well, people... There's also the well-meaning accidental thing. So, like, people, I always think that because you're sort of in people's houses 3 or 4 times a week, look at burglars, the lot of us breaking in and entering. But people get to know you really well, which I love because I like that sense of community. Yeah. But then there are sometimes people say things you think, would you say that to me if we met in real life? So, like, recently I've had a woman who keeps telling me I need to change my haircut, because she doesn't like it. She preferred it the way it was before. And I'm like, but you wouldn't say that to me in real life unless you were like one of my nearest and dearest. It's just a really interaction.
This comment, it literally costs you nothing to be nice. Honestly, if you don't want to be nice to me, I don't have a problem with it, but it costs you nothing to be silent and move the fuck along. Like, if I have a problem with somebody, I don't go up to them and tell them. I'm just like, I don't like what you're doing, so I'm going to leave. Like, I'm not going to attack you because I don't like what you're doing. I'll just withdraw myself from the situation because it's my problem, not yours.
Yeah. I always am kind of like, as long as I know why somebody's got beef with me or why they're pissed off with me, I'm fine. It's when I can't get it or when it's just unnecessary meanness. That's the bit I find tricky, because not everyone's going to love everybody.
No.
I did on Instagram. I don't like doing too many like quotes and memes and stuff, but I like a few. And then one of them was something about, why are you trying so hard to be liked by everybody? Even you don't like everybody. And I was like, that's so true.
Yeah. Somebody did ask, I won't be able to find the comment now, but somebody asked where you got your hoodie from.
I can't give you the answer because my mother bought it me.
I'm looking at you in that like hoodie and I'm sweating for you because I'm so hot right now. You're in a hoodie.
It's really cold here.
Wow.
By the sea, we get like the cold sea shenanigans comes in.
I'm jealous. I moved, like, my dad lives on the end of a cliff pretty much, so I moved from the sea where it was always
really made me laugh. Just the way you worded it. My dad lives on the edge of a cliff. Oh, okay.
He lived closer on the edge of a cliff and then he moved further. And now I live in a town and it's hot and I don't like it. Lots of things that I forgot about living next to the sea, like the insects aren't as big if you live near the coast because all of the massive flies get blown away. The weather doesn't stick because it all goes over really quickly.
I can see Liverpool with totally different weather from here. It's really weird.
Same.
But now I'm not sweating. And also it's really baggy and I've got nothing underneath it. So it's just a nice, comfy hoodie.
You can wear that on the Pepsi Max. Easy flashing.
Straight on there. No problems.
Oh, hay fever isn't as bad on the coast as well.
I would disagree this year.
Oh, yeah. You were being very dramatic this afternoon.
I was literally having Zooms crying. And one of them, I was having to talk about the project that I do at work. And I was like, I'm not crying with emotion, although I do get emotional about this project. It's just hay fever. Oh, it's been awful.
This afternoon was great because I was close to having a panic attack and you were swooning on the sofa with your hay fever.
We were being there for each other, Becca. It was a support network.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Vaseline your holes.
I'm not going to say anything to that because I could and I won't.
Yeah, it is. Today it's really, really stuffy. I will say that. I'm about 25 minutes away from the coast, so not super far, but not. I miss that sea breeze. And when I used to live with my dad, I used to complain that we never got hot weather because it like constant breeze. But now I'm like, please, because I live on a main road as well, so I can't even open the windows in this room because it's just loud and horrible.
Oh.
But I don't get a lot of sun. We only get sun in here in the morning, and our living room is. I live in like an old Victorian house where the kitchen's been extended onto the back, so the living room has no windows. So it's really cold downstairs throughout the day. But then as the sun comes around to the back and through the kitchen, the back of the house gets really, really hot. So it's been a warm day.
Mine's a nightmare because where I film, if it's all about where the sun is. And if I can't at the moment film between 2 p.m. and like 7 p.m., which is just a nightmare because I'm not very good at filming in the morning because I'm really sluggish.
Wow. Manitoba, 29 plus. I think it's only about 23 here, but it feels hot.
I don't like it too hot. My ex-husband was from Brazil, and whenever we went out there, it was just way too hot for me. I'd just lie under the air conditioning.
It depends. I've never been to Brazil or South America or anywhere, but I've noticed like when I went to Florida, the temperature was a lot hotter, but it was also a lot more bearable because it's a different climate and you have like different humidity and stuff. So it's not as just like claggy. The best way to describe it.
Claggy. It wasn't. Some of it was claggy in Brazil, but also weirdly, you can like get a plane from one part of Brazil where it's so hot you want to just melt on the floor, and then you can fly to where there's snow. It's so weird. It's a weird country like that in a good way. Good weird.
Wow. Yeah, this is good. You do get aircon in hot countries.
Yeah.
We don't have any fans. I've been looking at fans on Amazon today, and I never end up buying them because I'm like, oh well, whenever I buy anything that's seasonal, it's always too late to use it. So I'm the person who buys shorts in late August and then it gets cold. And I'm like, great, well, I wasted my money there, didn't I? But
I bought a paddling pool at like the end of August last year. Pointless. It's long gone.
Well, I have to say as well, I've had my vaccine today, and I think I'm now pretty much, fingers crossed, past the point where I'm not going to get mild flu symptoms. I'm doing all right.
What time did you have it?
11, half 11.
I think you'll be all right then. I had mine at 3, and the next morning I was like death. But that's probably not the best thing to say, actually. Have a nice sleep, Becca.
As if I need anything else this week. Like, I have broken so many things. We've got Hammy in the vets. What else have I done?
Bike, because we've been talking about how if anyone from Peloton's watching, we're more than happy to be sponsored by Peloton.
We just want Peloton bike.
We could literally do Peloton sprints, literally on a bike.
Yeah. I don't think people would join for those. They join for reading sprints, though.
Well, even so, we could make it work somehow.
Oh, Beth said that she's heard AstraZeneca is worse for the first one. Apparently, Pfizer is better for the second.
Yeah, well, after the second one, I literally, this is so ridiculous, cried on and off for 3 days. I don't know what it was. I just felt really, you only feel flaky.
Yeah.
And just, I felt like that. And anything would set me off. And even now, still, I think it's the relief possibly of having had both. But I've become much more of a crier this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I nearly cried in one of the meetings earlier today because people were saying nice things about me. I was like, oh, I've got to go.
I will say I just have like slight pain, but it's not even as bad as like if I was lifting light weights. It's nothing like Curtis has been complaining about his, but mine's fine. I'm good.
Did you get vaxxed together?
Yeah, but we weren't in the same room when we booked them, so we didn't coordinate properly. So his was 30 minutes before mine, so then we just had to sit in the car. Like I had to sit in the car for a while, and then he came back and had to sit for a while. But the other one we've got, I think they're 5 minutes apart for our second one. So
couples vaxxed together, stay together.
Hey.
Me and Chris didn't vax anywhere near each other, so we're doomed. He hasn't even had the same vax as me.
I love this. I was well moody 2 days after, but I think that was just me.
Maybe mine was just I was weeping. I was weeping.
I wonder actually if it's maybe an immune system thing, because I have a really good immune system, and I know for a fact that my immune system is better than Curtis's, because we had the same stomach bug once. I had it first for 3 days, and then he had it, and it lasted over a week, and he was way more ill than I was.
Gosh.
So I have a better immune system than him.
The reason apparently the second one, I think it's for all of them, the second one can be quite a tricky one, is because it shows it's working. That's what somebody said to me. It means that it's doing its thing. But I think we're going to have like annual ones eventually.
Boosters, yeah.
Because of this Delta.
All fun and games.
All fun and games.
I'm excited that it's well, it's not done because I have to go back in September, but I'm excited that it's actually happening now, because when things were starting to get back to normal, I was thinking, like, from my perspective, nothing has changed because I'm self-employed, so it's not like I've had to go back to work or anything. So it was weird to see people behaving more normally and more things happening, when from my perspective, it was literally the same as it was last March. Nothing had changed. But I'm excited for it to get better. I'm excited to be able to travel. I want to go on holiday.
Yeah. I'm excited. Like, it's been really nice going and doing things in real life with people. That's the bit like, because I was shielding, which was horrible. Because like, even had to be in the same room as Chris, so it's just like on and off for the last year. That was pretty tough. So just to go and like film with Melanie in a bookshop, or to just like go to Blackpool, or that's been the best bit. Although food is dead. It's so quiet.
Wow.
What are you saying, you missed, Becca?
Food. I've missed food. Going out for meals. Drinks. Bars. Cocktails.
Hotels I've missed. I love a hotel.
Well, you spend a lot of time in them, to be fair.
I do, and I love them. And I haven't for a long time. I could live in a hotel, really. We
used to go for weekends away all the time, and like city trips and stuff, just because we live in the middle of nowhere. So we used to make like a occasion of it and stay somewhere overnight, only like Manchester and Leeds and stuff. But also something that I never thought I would miss that much, concerts. I used to go to a concert every single month because Curtis is really into music, and I listen to like punk, pop and rock music and stuff, which is like a lot of live shows in small venues. So I used to be going to a concert every month, and I don't particularly like how sweaty and loud it is unless I really like the band, but it's something that I did used to do regularly. So when it stopped, I didn't think I'd miss it, but I'm actually really missing it now. The last thing I did before COVID was see the 1975 twice last February. And up until I went to Newcastle, which was cursed because I came back and Hammy had been injured, I hadn't done anything in that entire time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't, what was I going to say? I haven't been clubbing in years, but I miss clubbing.
Yeah, I think it's because you don't have the option now. Like, I haven't been properly in a very long time.
I've been thinking about, like, I would love to just. There was a song that I heard the other day, just on random on Spotify, and it was like a Jake Shears from the Sisters sort of random remix. And I was like, this song I would love to just go and dance ridiculous to in a really sweaty club.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I didn't ever think I would miss, but I do miss it apparently.
Yeah. Somebody asked, and I've lost it, what the current situation is in the UK with lockdown and stuff. We're just opening gradually. I think the next stage has just been pushed back to July, hasn't it?
Yeah, so July 21st of June was meant to be everything was dropping and you could hug and you could go and do whatever, and concerts were back, and now they've put that back to, I can't remember what day it is in July, but it's 4 weeks later basically.
And that's because of the new Delta variant, isn't it? That's the reason why they've pushed it back.
Yeah, but it looks like I was told by my auntie who works in the NHS, it's the hospital admissions you've got to watch. It's not how many people have it, it's how many people are being admitted to hospital. That's what worries people. That's when it sparks a lockdown.
Yeah, because that's it. It's not manageable then, because the people who need help can't get it. It's essentially how many ventilators we have and how many beds we've got in hospitals.
Well, do you remember with YouTube we had to do the lateral flow test? Did you have to swab your nose and everything? And I've not had to do one since then, despite different things places I've been. And I've got to do one for the first time next week, and I'm already dreading it because I've tried to go back to vlogs, me doing it and being like, yeah, it's really easy doing my throat. I was like, it was horrible. And then the nose one,
I was gagging and crying.
Yeah, it never saw the light of day in my vlogs, funnily enough, but I was going to do. I should have left it in for the memories.
What time are we on now? We're on 20 to 10. Should we do you want to do like a 35-minute one as the last one? And then we've got like 15 minutes to chat and wrap up.
That sounds lovely to me. I'm going to try and get to chapter 11.
Well, I've got about 60 pages to chapter 11, so I know I'm not going to make it, but I should get relatively close.
Oh no, I've got about 60, so I don't think I'll make it either. But I was being all cocky earlier when I was like, oh, I should have a second book, shouldn't I? A second book to read.
I was thinking that. I was like, just like, you want to be optimistic, honey, go for it. I won't kill your vibe.
But basically, you're thinking Simple Simon and his first sprints.
To be fair, I do it all the time. I'm like, I'll read 200 pages, and then I'll switch books. It never happens, and some of my friends actually do that and read really quickly. It's just not me. There was a chance, there was hope for you, because I have seen it done.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better, but apparently I was naive and foolish.
Okay. Oh, I need to reset the timer because it's not on the right time. It's set for 20 minutes. And I'm going to turn all of my lights on because it's getting quite dark.
I've just got like a beetroot.
You've gone real pink.
These lights aren't doing it for me. And it's not because I'm hot. It's the lighting.
Well, right. I would beg to disagree, darling.
See you in 35.
Bye. Hello.
Hi.
How did you get on?
I've got not much more of chapter 10 to go.
How? I've got what? I'm 3 pages into chapter 9.
Hey, it's not a competition. That is something, though, it's interesting. Like, sometimes I do think it can seem like reading is a competition, but it never is. I find if I read too quickly, I don't get it. This, though, I just feel like I can fly through it.
Yeah.
It's the sort of book that I could probably just like, and actually I think it's really good we're doing it as a buddy read because it slows me down and I enjoy it more, I think. Because otherwise,
I could, especially with Chloe Brown, like I could have just blasted through, like from the page 100 point onwards.
Are you having more of an issue with this one? Or
I am enjoying this. I'm having an issue with focus generally with reading. So it's taking me longer because I have to keep rereading stuff. And then also because we're reading this live right now, I'm getting a bit flustered. And then I have to keep my rereading bits.
There have been a few parts where I've been really giggling or like, ooh.
Yeah.
To myself as I'm reading.
There was a bit he says something to her in a library and I was like, oh, visibly sweating. Help.
I can't wait for the voice notes tomorrow on Instagram.
Oh god, it's gonna be yeah. I'm enjoying it.
Now I am as well. I think because we'd heard, haven't we, that the middle one people were like it's a bit like that. The first, but I'm enjoying this one as much as Chloe Brown. I'm gonna love the series, I think.
Yeah, she's also writing, I don't know if we talked about it when we read Chloe, she's also writing a spin-off series about, I think it's the cousins.
Oh. I've seen she's done one, I think she's got like a lesbian love story because she's been talking about it for Pride. So I think she's got quite a backlist.
She does have a backlist. I think one of them's just been rebranded and they've changed the name of it. Steph was talking to me about it yesterday, I think. I
will say, I find the covers with the we talked about this, haven't we, where the cartoon characters mean I never really I never quite make them real.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have that as well.
It's really odd. Although I've started to think of her as one of the housewives from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Eva, I think she's called, and I'm now picturing her as her all the time.
Yeah. I'm just gonna sit up because my elbows are going numb.
Oh, apparently Talia Hibbert is pansexual.
Oh, did not know that.
And Leah's saying morning, Becca and Simon, so I'm assuming they are in Australia.
What time is it? I would say so.
Yeah, I'd say.
At 7 a.m. maybe, depending on where in Australia.
Yeah, because in America it'll be afternoon, won't it?
Yeah.
Very good on world times.
Yes.
Somebody's just said I got to a page with the word discombobulated on it. That's one of my favorite words. I love the word.
I really like that word.
And also it sums up how Chris will take the piss out of me because you know when some days you just don't feel right with the world and you're like, he's like, oh, you're out of sorts. I'm like, no, I'm discombobulated.
I do try and use it when I can because it's just a really nice word to say.
Yeah, I like it. Discombobulated. That's a good word. It's a very British word, isn't it, as well, I think. It sounds like very much like I was this afternoon, being a Victorian dame lying on the sofa with my dreadful sore eyes.
I grew out of hay fever, thankfully.
Oh, it's a mean thing this year. It's particularly bad. What else are you currently reading at the moment, Becca?
Melbourne is where they are, so we were right.
We did guess well.
And Talia Hibbert also has fibromyalgia, which is why the rep in Chloe Brown was good.
I thought it was really good because I have a chronic illness called Derkham's, and it was one of the few times I've read chronic illness and really believed it and like got it or felt it's got it, if that makes sense.
I don't have chronic illness, but I did think that it was very good, and I like the way that it was approached. It felt kind of realistic, but not too serious, because I feel like when you have chronic illness or anything that's kind of not going away, no matter what it is, if you are doom and gloom about it all the time, then it's like people make light of things going on with them that are actually quite serious because you just can't deal with the doom and gloom all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like, have I lost you? Yeah. Oh no, yeah, you're back now. Sorry, you froze for a second.
I'm back.
Like, where did you go?
No, I'm here. No, I totally agree. But also, like I was talking about this on a video a while back, that I always feel a bit guilty because I do not read that much fiction that's based around chronic illness or disability, and that's not because I don't. It's not because I've got anything against it, but it's because I don't know. It makes me think about mine so much, and I tend to not want to think about it unless I'm having a bad day. So, like as in a bad day with it. So I think I go into slight denial with fiction. It's one of those things that I just completely and utterly avoid. It's really weird. But in Chloe Brown, it was done really, really well because it wasn't the focus. It was just part of her.
Yeah. Kendra's just said it makes it worse if you're doom and gloom as stress fetches it on. Because you just end up, like, it's not something you want to be dwelling on all the time. Like, even just if something bad's particularly is going on, like, right now Hamilton's been in the vets for 2 weeks. So, like, I don't want to think about it all the time because otherwise I'll just be sad. I was saying this to you about wanting to take it easy, but also still do normal things because otherwise I'm literally just doing nothing but being miserable, which isn't healthy. And yeah, I really liked how that was handled in Chloe Brown.
Yeah, no, I think it was really, really good. Yeah, it's interesting. There's lots of people saying that who have chronic illness that it really, really linked in. And Kendra said about we read together.
Oh, he froze again. Looks like I'm on my own. No. I'm glad it's not just me. I'm glad it's not just me. So, guys, while Simon deals with his technical difficulty, how y'all doing? How's it going? I've been left all alone. And now you can see all of my mess because I'm like fully in widescreen. Lonely Becca hours. It's just me. You've got just me now. Almost done rereading Chloe Brown. Good, good. Assassin's Quest is Assassin's Quest is confusing. I will give you that. Oof, I feel that every time I have something planned, it does just go terribly wrong. Like having to read epic and high fantasy, which is something that needs a lot of concentration and a lot of time dedicated to it. And it's not really happening for me. Although I am doing all right with my reading. But most of the books that I've read 2 graphic novels, a novella, 1 standard book. Oh no, 2 novellas, 1 standard book, and I'm halfway through 2 other books. So it's doing all right. Come back, Simon. Yes, Simon, please come back. I'm okay doing live shows on my own, but only when I'm prepared. And now you can see my wonky light shade that I still haven't replaced. I love that for me. Just gonna check my messages. Just finished my 6th book. I've lost it. There we go. Oh, about to finish my 5th book. Just finished my 6th book. Dani Brown has been such a fast read. Honestly, it's one of the few books that I've had because I'm not forcing myself to read, but like I said, I'm trying to maintain some sense of normality. So I am getting a good bit of reading done, and it's also good to be able to distract myself and actually enjoy something. So I'm enjoying this because it is quite consuming and that I'm really into the story and I'm enjoying it, and because it's lighthearted, it's making me feel a lot better, which is fab. Also, thank you to you guys for your, I've seen quite a few messages of support for me and Hamilton in the chat. Thank you guys so much. It is very much appreciated. I'm very stressed at the minute. Did I? Why did I use a spoon as a bookmark? Oh my god, you're gonna have to tell me what this vlog is because I do not remember. I do not recall using a spoon as a bookmark. Sounds like something I would do though. It really does. Halfway through. I really want to read Gideon the Ninth. We are not doing any more sprints tonight. Oh, he has returned. Is he here?
I don't know what happened.
You abandoned me.
We broke the internet. Literally, my laptop's just like, no internet. I've got the dinosaur of evil.
Wow. It's a good job that we were pretty much done then.
It is. Apologies for that. But I'm back briefly.
That is fine. I've held the fort down.
What have I missed? What have people been saying? Tell me all.
They've been slagging you off. They've been saying, I hope you never invite him here again.
No, I knew that would happen. Get the gay away.
They were actually screaming for you to come back. I don't think they liked me very much.
Sure, that's not true. I've really enjoyed it. Like my first ever sprints.
You had a good time?
Yes, I have. Although I can't work it out on this bloody phone. Which, considering I record on it all the time, I don't understand at all. Yeah, that completely and utterly. We killed my internet.
That's just the power of us.
The power of us. Which is interesting, considering I'm meant to be hosting the next one.
You might be all right. You might just have a blip. I know mine has a little blip occasionally, which is always fun. I
think also because, like we were saying earlier, I'm on Zoom nearly all day. So I think my computer just at some point is like, go to bed. Leave me alone. Turn me off.
You're normally in bed quite early as well, aren't you?
Absolute no.
Bless you.
But because my husband works for Waitrose, so some mornings we have to be up at 5. And I'm one of those people who, once I'm awake, can't... oh, look at that. That was a lovely comment. What sort of comet would you be? Would you be a comet, a galaxy, or I don't know, space?
A comet, a galaxy. They're not even comparable things.
Oh, I don't know what they
are. Someone said, is Ham still stable? Ham is doing okay today, yes. I will only get a call if anything drastic happens, which at this point, I don't think anything unexpectedly drastic would happen in the night. He's not ill right now. And I'll get a call tomorrow afternoon. Fingers crossed, manifesting good healing vibes that he continues to be good. I'm enjoying him being good while I can, taking the opportunity to not be anxious.
Once he gets home, he's going to get so many cuddles.
I'm also going to do that thing, do you know, where you can say anything you want to animals and babies as long as you do it in a certain tone so they don't understand what you're saying?
Yeah.
So when he gets home, I'm going to be like, you are such a horrible little shit. I can't believe you've done this to me. I hate you so much.
Oh, bless him. Oh, well, I hope it's a speedy recovery for him. I've still got my fingers crossed, so.
Keep them crossed.
I'm going to try and sleep with them crossed. I'm going to try and sleep with them crossed. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, we're going to hopefully read the next one in July, aren't we?
Yeah, and you want to host some sprints for that. So
yeah, I'm going to do some Savidge sprints. But also, if anyone has got any ideas for a game, I'm going to do Becca's Bookopoly for July or August, because July is a ridiculous amount of books month. I think for work it's about possibly 18. So yeah, that could be a tough month. But definitely for like August, if not. That'd be hilarious as well if you pick them, because then I'll have to give my response as to
yeah, it'll be a good time. But I'm doing sprints tomorrow. I don't know who's joining me yet. Whoever wants to. Ashley said she might. Cody said she might. And you will see Simon and I again next month, probably, if we're reading Eve. Yeah, Eve.
Yeah.
Next month.
Might have to be the second half of the month if that's all right with you.
That's fine. I don't have, well, I've just got my normal group books and stuff, and I don't know what my TBR is because I haven't sorted my TBR yet. I haven't done my rolls.
Do you ever find like you really fight against it? That's the only thing that would worry me about a TBR, because as soon as I do that, like as soon as I've got a list of books to read for work or whatever, I fight against it.
Most of the time, no, because you know how we said if I don't have a schedule, I won't do anything. If I don't have a TBR, I won't read. My thing is making decisions. I can't make decisions, so I pre-plan things as much as possible so that it's just a series of steps that I need to follow. But sometimes, yeah, like if we end up with, especially if they're random picks, so you know, if I get something where I have to like randomly generate my Goodreads TBR and it picks a specific book for me, if I have a lot of those kind of books in the month, then I do fight back against it a little bit because it's very, like, I didn't make any decisions. Like, I didn't really have any choice at all.
Okay, I need to give it some thought. Because, yeah, I think I do like the idea of doing something with Uno because, you know, and that keeps appealing to me. But Savidge Scrabble was a good one. And I do like the idea of Cluedo, but I just think that would be too hard. But then some people were saying they do it like Cluedo, so I need to give it some real thought.
Do some planning. I still have a rolled up piece of paper tucked down the side of the bookcase over there, which is the paper plan for my first ever Bookopoly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sketched it all out on paper.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, I just quite like the idea of, I don't know, there's something about, I just keep going back to Uno. It's because it's bright colours as well, which is kind of my bag. But yeah, we'll give it some thought. I'll give it some thought.
I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Well, I'll be doing your one first.
Sure.
Maybe I'll launch
you probably do mine and be like, nope, never again. No more TBR games.
Or maybe I could just do, like you're saying, some people do, they do a different person's for a little bit, and then in 2022, I'll launch mine in January or something.
Sounds
so I can see what sticks, what doesn't, etc.
And then you get to try and see what you like about TBR games and what you don't want.
Yeah. It's a good call. I'm glad we had this therapy session.
Oh, it's been very good. It's been very therapeutic for me. Thank you very much.
And I'm going to finish that chapter tonight, and then it'll be voice message-tastic in the morning about
I'm excited.
Where we're at.
I've been asked what time my sprints are tomorrow. It is 7 p.m. UK. I will be live tomorrow. I think I might do 4 hours tomorrow. Depends how I feel. And also, of course, with everything I'm doing right now, I could cancel it at a moment's notice. But fingers crossed that won't happen because we're manifesting good healing vibes. So I'll have no need to cancel anything. And yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for having me, Becca.
You are welcome. Thank you to everyone for the Pop Simon's Sprint Cherry.
3 hours long it was. I feel proud of myself.
Nobody can say that I ain't got stamina. And on that note, we will see you all at some point in the future.